All right, folks, we are back. That was a good start. I did not plan that. I should have. I wish I was that clever. But we are on Smith Field, and so I like Smith Field. It's yet another CSA defending map in one of the skirmish maps we have here from the drill camp map. Man, Union artillery is doing pretty well. It's been a little rough for the Union last few maps. They had chances on many of them, but they had real big problems with flag management. Related to that was the coordination of companies attacking more or less at the same time. So I'll show you some of the officers. We're going to try to quiet everybody who isn't an officer so we kind of know what the actual orders are versus other people who are just randomly screaming. I mean, we're starting off with 330, so I think that portends really good things. Hopefully we can get close to knocking on 400. We have room for them, so why not? But Drywall is just coming on for this map. He's really good. When I first started doing this, I had Drywall on a bunch of these, and he did really well. I actually played under him in pubs, and he's good. The Union has some of the same officers and some new officers, and so we will see if the coordination improves. But this is a Union attacking map. The point of contention, which I probably should have mentioned, is right here. It's on top of the hill. The CSA has 2 batteries, and their fort is another kind of quasi fort. It's on the low ground, but it's in the woods with a fence here on their right. Man, Union already has their... Okay, I know the Union's moving, we gotta see it. And the other is to kind of just sit here on the backside and then shoot the Union when they come out of the corn. And that's pretty much what the CSA have to do. The defending on a lot of these skirmish maps, or drill camp maps, at least in the last few we've seen, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, it's not a huge area of movement, and you know, for the attacks, you got to kind of concentrate. I don't know that the Union's doing. Yeah, I mean, let's just see how it goes. All right, we will see how it goes, but looks like the Union's going to try for a semi-split push. See, the CSA, they did not give up on defending that corn. This is a spot where I would think the Union, because they're attackers, they have more tickets. That was a nice shot. They should, you would think that they would do okay here. I mean, yeah, the CSA has artillery right there, and they get to kind of shoot into the hill. But, you know, Union artillery is not far off. I guess it's a question of whether the concealment of the woods might benefit the Union having the high ground and perhaps better ranged weapons. But given that I don't see the Union usually stand here and skirmish it out, I'm guessing it doesn't happen that way. Yeah. All true. But it's a formidable artillery position. And this is why I guess the Union doesn't usually make that push, and they try to push through the corn.
Alright, we're gonna keep going. Drywall, just type in chat what you want.
And here, the CSA has run all the way back here. And they've done this to the Union several times because the Union gets wiped or something, and the CSA can kind of run right through here and pick up a bunch of out-of-formation ones. But the Union is moving to meet it, but they're not moving to meet it in melee, and they're not moving to cut off its path of retreat. And the CSA looks like they're happy to come here and shoot it out. We'll see when the Union spawn in, if they're able to make it into the corn and show up behind these guys. Now the Union has to retreat or attack through an open field, which is rough. But this CSA company is out on an island. All right, most of that company is going to get out. The CSA can push that deep, get their flag out, and most of their numbers. It's a sign that they're doing it right. Again, worked until it didn't. This is sometimes the spot where Union skirmishers will plop themselves down and take pot shots at the CSA. Having been in the CSA, I know, particularly when we were over there, kind of right where those guys are now, the Union whatever would be shooting at us. But anyways, that's pretty much the map. Of course, since we had the weather update, it rains like every 7 minutes now or something like that, it feels. But the Union's going to opt for a reset, a good idea. And yeah, then we'll catch up with them. It looked like the Union was going to go corn. It looks like the CSA agrees that the Union's going to go through the corn, because they seem to be filing out of the woods down there. The Union hasn't actually committed to that yet. Just want to see where this shot goes. It was a good shot. Good shot. But what else are you going to do while the Union tries to figure out their plan? I guess we'll sit with the CSA artillery and be jealous of their sweet, sweet positions here. I guess the CSA is tired of waiting and trying to take the fight into their own hands. That's probably a Union push. It's rough as a player because you spend all the time doing this and then...
What I'm doing? Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Ships passing, right? Who knew how close you were? Probably come back to report. Nah, it's all clear. But what the CSA can also do in those cases is stick an officer here, and you just have your company here, and then when they see the flag or the men, when you're looking through the binos, you just call it out and move to it. Right? So if they had actually sat back there instead of doing that, CSA got a good push through the Union. Looks like one company back here, two CSA ones. You would think the confusion of all this would lead to 50-50 casualties and a positive ticket trade for positive ticket ratio. Man, that's the second time I've seen that. I don't know what that is. Looks like it's with a weather change or something. It looks like bombs are dropping out of the sky. It's kind of weird. Anyways, I wanted to follow up on our friends who had infiltrated this far, and they've been here so long that now they've been found out. Now I wonder, yeah, this group's probably going to get hit in the side. Depends on how many men are with that flag. I see a number. Yeah, they're just going to hit him right on the side, I think. Nope, there they are. Got the finger gun out. Probably telling him to probably just use your Bayos, right? But he was there long enough that somebody told the Union that they're there on the left, but yeah, I think the CSA probably could have just gone in with their Bayos quietly and knocked him out. I mean, it's honestly people like this. It's like you're trying to hide in the corn, and they're just blaring the bugle the entire time. I'm all for musicians being in the game. I actually am, and then finding some way to try to make them matter. Maybe not to the degree that the flag matters, because it really does matter, but something where it's not ruining the experience for everyone else. Right, where basically one person who's there's no level requirement, as we just saw, they can go in and they can just spoil it for the entire company, which might spoil it for the entire side. Gives too much power, I think, to the spoilers. Like, if you want to go blare a bugle, you can go to drum camp or drill camp and do that. You go to drum camp and do it too, but why you need to do it on a skirmish map with everybody else basically just puts your fun ahead of everyone else on your teams. It seems like a bad trade for a game that's built on teamwork and kind of sacrificing and playing for the team. It seems a strange indulgence.
Break your loads, up and over into the corn.
Go, into the corn, go.
Union,
go.
it may not look like it, they actually are the attackers on this map. But they don't seem like they're able to get even past their artillery. They can't fight through the corn. They're not willing to go left anymore. I mean, these are all areas the Union should be embedding themselves in. And I mean, now I see 3 Union companies. I suspect the 4th one is the one that was down here and kind of held on for so long is now about to get wiped. It's actually a really good distraction. I don't think it was planned. But yeah, drawing that attention from the CSA away. Now, this group, you probably try to do as much fighting as you can in the woods because those guys up on the fence are going to try to, shoot and then charge you in the side. So, that is their problem, as they say, but this is... Oh, the Union also pushed that. I was going to say this was about to be another one of those cases of people love collapsing on the backside of charges. I don't know if that's what this company is also trying to do, right? You kind of let the charge go past you, you run past it, and then you collapse on it from the backside. That looks like the idea here. It's a somewhat dang flank, and it's got to be done fairly quickly. Because if not, this might be the case for the Union here. They get to respawn, and they get to consolidate while your friendlies are getting wiped, and then you show up and yikes, you're outnumbered. Because there's another Union flag up here. I guess they were looking for somebody to fight with, and they'll fight with them, but 3 Union flags here. CSA is embedded in the rocks and on the high ground, and they have the fence. We'll see if the Union's able to reload and outshoot them before the CSA decides they've had enough and they just charge down. But it looks like the CSA, or the CSA, the Union who are up in the rocks largely pulled back. Yeah, somebody's stabbing you. You can certainly try to shoot them, but if you're so close... Wow, I am surprised that Union company lost. But we got a lot of folks on it. It's 375. You can actually tell. Look how many single digits there are in this company. Look at how many single digits there are here. And there are quite a few on the CSA side. But look at how many single digits there are here. Look at how many level 1s are here. I don't know if this is just glitch day or what. Compare that to, look at this company for the CSA. I mean, it's got to be an uphill challenge here for the Union, and the CSA again are acting more like the attackers on this map, and the Union, if nothing else, is a bit concentrated here in the corn, but I don't know why the CSA is doing this. Maybe it's just to have fun and keep the boys from TKing each other. But this kind of ends up being a version of Miller's Cornfield, which is, it's a map I absolutely loathe in War of Rights. So I don't play it. I don't commentate on it. I just, if it comes on and I'm playing, I just leave, because it's the only map like that. I'll play any other map. But if it's just a bunch of people running through the corn, you can try to tell me that there's some sort of skill or teamwork or something involved. I don't believe it. It's just running around in the corn meleeing people. So if that stops, I think I'll bring you back in. But if that's pretty much all we're going to get here, I'm going to... all right. So I guess the Union's decided they've had enough of the corn. And I guess the CSA is trying to be fancy and wipe them again by going up there. But yeah, the Union, by moving when they do, they almost got to this position and then maybe would have turned it back on the CSA. It seems like after that initial spurt, for some reason, yet again, the Union kind of got held up. All right, the CSA now have decided they want to attack the Union artillery, while the other Union company is moving on the far side there, but most of the Union are down here. They could, if they wanted to, concentrate against that company. They could go to CSA artillery, and they could, right, they could pay it back.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The game, I don't think the game's still on sale here. I don't know what explains the influx of new players. I mean, certainly welcome, but that was a lot of single digits. Yeah, you can see the CSA running up through the Union artillery, doing a fine job. This Union group's gonna flag? We don't need no stinking flag. Yeah, clearly the CSA artillery sees them. And now we'll see if the CSA opt to stand and shoot or run away. Is that the flag? No, there's no flag there. I don't even know who this is anymore. Okay, so this was a Union company. It still is a Union company, it appears. As bad as this kind of looked, I guess a saving grace or maybe a silver lining here is that the Union's only down a third of a morale stage. I don't... Yeah, there's just a ton of CSA here. All right, the Union's pushing up through CSA artillery. No. The whiff. I'm sure he was aiming at stuff down there, so I'm sure it was a hit. You can see this is the CSA kind of running the full circuit here. Some of these Union guys got so much mud on their boots, they might actually get caught, but the Union kind of has to keep moving through. I don't know if... Okay, so the two Union companies here will collapse on the CSA after taking out the artillery. If they're able to reform, my goodness, man. You know, it doesn't even matter if the Union caps early here. It's... I mean, they have a fine... Yeah, these guys are CSA. Those guys are CSA. You, sirs, are pinned. You probably should attack towards the woods because there's only one company there. There's way more CSA coming up this way, but you had to make that decision and go. That's not going to be it. See, maybe the Union can make the CSA pay a ticket toll on the way in, but I would doubt it. I think the CSA gobbled up a bunch of out of formation dudes who spawned in on those moving flags, and yeah, it's gonna be a clean wipe. How many flags? So really only one flag down? That doesn't seem right. Huh. What did that come in? All right, so that came in from the Union artillery. I didn't even notice this battery here. It's a pretty sweet spot. All right, the Union's got a flag here. Are they not? Oh, this is a CSA flag. Yeah, these guys better get back quick. they're about to get rolled. Oh my goodness. It is a single digits weekend for whatever reason. Hey, good numbers, and hopefully a bunch of them stick around. It would be nice, but I'm not so sure. That's the rest of the Union force. So.
All right, that's ready to. That's pretty.
Was a bit high. Does the CSA come back? They may come back here. They feel like the Union's not going to fight. They'll just take the fight to them. I'm pretty sure it's a Union artillerist, or is that a CSA? No, the Reb guy's trying to stab him, but it was very odd. All right, Union is here. I think that's some CSA in there. It looked a little butternut. Not sure why they would be shooting if they were Union. Good hit. And they all got up. Good hit, though. That was a little high. Also a little high.
Yeah, they've still got a bunch of guys on already. If you want to...
These guys on the CSA came up to skirm the Union artillery out here. I mean, if we're not going to get company level action, I guess we'll just go down to individuals. Yeah, this is a handy battery position. This is one. Maybe I should be in there. It's tough trying to play arty in pubs, even on the big arty maps. It's just everybody and their brother wants to play artillery, and it's like, all right.
Alright, I want y'all to form a big open order fuck you line and shoot at anything that moves up ahead. Open.
That sounded like CSA in the core. You seem like newer players here on the Union. Artillery guys are just like, nobody knows when to run. You see the Union push further down though. And this looks like it's going to make a clean wipe for the CSA, I think. And I guess these Union companies will say, thank you for your sacrifice. We'll remember you, and they're going to use that distraction to push into the woods here. Probably try to get their two companies against that one for the CSA. CSA can go back very far in the woods if they want, or they can run up to friendlies before they're getting shot. Well, nope, too late now. Now the Union's on them, so yeah, you kind of just got to defend the backside of that fence as best you can. But I was going to say, if you can make it up there, you would do it, I think, as the CSA, and just leave that big old open field and friendly artillery there to pound the Union and win the trade and wait for friendlies to show up if you need them. All right, the Union got in there. Did any CSA come in behind them? I feel like that's been the CSA's big move here on this and other maps recently. It's just let the Union charge past, and now the CSA is just flexing. I mean, that they can come up this far and shoot into Union spawn. Not really sure what the purpose of that is, but again, for the defenders, I don't think they should be able to. Maybe make that clump of trees the boundary of what they can do, but I'm all for the kind of wide open movement on conquest and contention, but you know, allowing the defenders Well, you know what? The Union might be able to do this to them. But I mean, plop yourself down 100, 150 yards away and just shoot into an open field. Assuming this is the Union pushing through CSA artillery again. Kind of saw this earlier, right? It was two companies pressing through. This time, no, it doesn't seem like there's a CSA company that's close on their heels that they need to worry about. I saw a CSA company cut through there, but it looked like a pretty undersized one. Union might want to think about an early cap here. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. The CSA is almost at breaking. You know how funny it would be, right? While the CSA is off spawn camping the Union, if the Union just... What is going on with the weather and some of these things? Yeah, if the Union just capped now and the CSA went breaking. You can see some CSA are starting to realize, like, even though we're dancing on these guys, we're pretty close to breaking, and the Union's pretty close to capping the point. The Union doesn't want a full cap. We'll see if they have control over who's on cap. But that would be notable. And so yeah, the Union can, well, that's CSA artillery. Oh, Union, but I think they're a little too close. They don't want to cap now. Oh, they blew it. They had a chance. They probably had to wait about 10-15 more seconds, but you know, it's just been the Union's luck. I think the Union could have won that. Well, you know, we'll see how long it takes the CSA to. Yep, yep. The Union, 30 more seconds, just 30 more seconds, and to be able to pull a win out on this map where they've been generally just bullied around by the CSA defenders, that would have been something to see. But now the Union is in a bit of a pickle, and I wonder if the CSA, who's kind of been tap dancing on the Union here all map, if they're going to try to keep the Union, if they're going to not recap and put the Union into last stand during the counterattack and then finish capping and win that way, which is, it's kind of like the worst way to lose. You should have watched that guy's Flag Bearer's Guide, right? The tutorial on flag bearing. Who knew we needed such a thing? We don't, but apparently we do. But yeah, just run that out of bounds. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, the flag runs out of bounds. It respawns more quickly than if you drop it in the field. It's part of the anti-trolling features the devs gave us, and it can be abused in that way where you just run out of bounds. But yeah, the Union's, I think they're too far behind. I think they're too far behind to pull this one back. CSA looks like they're just going to go to recap. They're not going to try to play it fancy. And how predictable was that? Did I not just call that they were going to try to tap dance on them again and beat them while they're in last stand? Yeah, but we'll see. It probably doesn't hurt the CSA to do that anyways, because they're so far ahead on tickets. Of course, I guess it didn't matter anyways, but huh. Where is the rest of the Union? Oh, they're coming, but I don't think they're going to be here fast enough to save these guys. It's a very, I mean, yeah, we've already talked about the kind of new player issue, but Yeah, that puts the CSA up about 2/3 of a morale stage. Union's got 3 minutes and 50 seconds to cap here. Really what they have is about 2 minutes or so to get the CSA into last stand. And then they can get enough of their flags going, they might be able to slow push and trip down the CSA. Looks like the CSA would prefer to get out of there before they do that. At least most of them to get out of there before they do that. Nice shot by that Union artillery in that battery I completely forgot about, but kind of looks nice. That looked a little high. All right, let's focus on the real thing though. Rather than going back to my arty man roots. This does not look like a firm push by the Union at all. I mean, maybe if 4 shells came in and kind of broke up that CSA line, but I don't think that's going to happen. But we might get some cool lightning strikes. I'll try to zoom out so we have a better chance of seeing it, but you gotta do what you can, man. We get a big horizon. Yeah, you can stand and shoot it out like this when you got a big enough ticket lead as the defenders and you know that the attackers quite literally on the clock here in final push. I do see a Union flag up. Is it up and then dropped? In the Union battery on the oblique right? One where we just saw a puff of smoke. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the Union's been doing enough shooting here to get the CSA to last in the next minute. That is a big old fat rain, right? This is like movie rain where they're just like dumping a hose. I don't know what that is. I don't know, unless it's a diversion to pull them back here. But that was a big old CSA push. See the CSA up here is countercharging. Kind of countercharging. Yeah, that's right. Good to see the old Union artillery man there with his sword out. And I think that's going to do it here. So, Smith Field, I like it as a map. It can get, I think, a lot of these new maps are fairly easy defenses for the CSA. Some are more competitive and the Union has a chance and wins, but there are quite a few of these new skirmish maps where it seems like in particular when the CSA is defending, it's just rough. The Union doesn't always get that treatment. I think it's Larson's Homestead is the one I'm thinking. That's a pretty tough defense map. But some of the ones I've seen here for the CSA are quite good to defend, and this was another one. Just like Crossroads is pretty good, and I think Fleming's Meadow is the other one I have in mind. But better encampment's okay, I think, as defense goes. Take a peek here at the casualties. I mean, nothing stands out too much based on what we know from the levels, right? the number of new players. Like, the other lines are getting to be a bit much. The overall casualty difference is a bit much. But there's just an experience advantage on the CSA side, and they played as a better team. So I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and I look forward to bringing more of these.